So Wayne's car all done. It's now time to get on to the next one, which is this. A MK2 TTS roadster. And on this we'll be doing a full service and changing the discs and pads, because they've got a tram line on them. They're giving vibrations, certain speeds on these. So we're going to put some nice Brembo discs on it. And we've got some Mintex pads, and then we'll free up the pistons as well, which I've done already once on this car because it was having brake judder, and obviously there's its service items there. So let's get this one in the air, let's get the service done while the brakes cool down, and then we'll jump onto them. I always like to make sure the car's nice and stable. Yeah, that ain't going nowhere. That is nice and solid up on the ramp. So let's get some gloves on and crack on with this. So I'm going to remove the oil filler first, so we don't get a vacuum while we're trying to drain. And now we've just got to remove this on the tray with all these torques. So let's get some tools out. Looks like it's got a bit of an oil leak around here, but we'll check that out when we get this cover off. So I'm going to whiz that off and I'll be back in a second. Right, so with all the pan off, we're going to drain the oil from our 19mm here, and then we're going to pull our filter off from here. So let's get that off.
So I had already cleaned up all the oil which was around the sump, so now I can see where the oil leak is coming from, because I could not see anything obvious.
There we go. So oil's all drained out now. So let that trickle down, and then we'll start on the filter. To get the filter out, you need to remove the housing. 36mm. So we'll remove that cap. Get that out of the way. And then now that gets on there. Probably better if you can actually see. Let's put that. There you go. Yeah, so once you've unscrewed this, you got the valve there which you can push up to release the oil. I don't do that because I don't want that valve stick in and break in and then it won't clock. So I just don't even bother with that. I'll just go straight on with the 36mm. So let's get an extension on that, get that loosened, let that drain out. So with the oil drained out the sump, we will put a new sump plug in there with washer for a couple of quid. I always put a nice new one in there. And we talk that to spec, 30 newton meters.
And then we give that area a nice little clean, and now we go back to the oil filter. So now let's remove that housing off the car, and then we're going to pull the old seal out like that. Get the new seal out of the box, and what we want to do is we want to coat the new seal with some nice new engine oil like this. And then we put it back in the oil filter housing with the tab pointing upwards. And then we get our new oil filter. We fit that in place. I always do it with the writing up. It doesn't make any difference, but it's just what I do. And now I'm going to fill the housing with some nice new engine oil. So it's pre-filled. So when we do the first start of the car's not going to be starved of any engine oil. So now we're going to fit that back to the car and torque that up to 25 newton meters with an additional 5 newton meters on top of that, which equals 30 newton meters in total. And then give the area a nice little clean.
Right, that's done, so let's put some oil in.
So this is the engine oil I use on a 2 litre TFSI, the Quantum Platinum 540. Fag use Quantum anyway, so I keep on topping the car up and checking it on the dipstick until it gets between the crosshatch.
Right, so I'm going to leave that to settle for a bit and then we'll come back and recheck it. Let's start something else.
So now we're going to jump onto the fuel filter with the handbrake cable out the way and the bracket undone. We can now use the special pliers to remove the push fittings on either end and then get the new filter in place once the old one's out the way, and then screw it all back together, put the handbrake cable back on and give it a clean. If you're enjoying these videos or find them useful, think about subscribing to the channel.
Right, with that done, let's go and see what our engine oil level's doing.
So next video we'll be continuing my dream garage build. If you haven't seen the first episode, then just click up here. But yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Okay, so it's on the mint, so we need to add a bit more. Let's just top that up again. Alright, that level is much better now, so I am happy with that. But we'll recheck it once we've started the car up and it's all circulated. I don't even know why I left that car wrong for this, because we've got the plugs anyway. Right, so let's whip the coils out, get the new plugs in. Can already see that it's missing the two little screws here, so we'll put some of those in because they are missing and we want it to be how it should be. Right, let's get these off. That's already broke, that one's all good, that one's all good, that one's all good. So not too bad. Let's get me my trusty lever bar. I always put them in order as well, so that's the one that come out of that. That's the one that come out of that. That's the one that come out of that. And that's the one that come out of that. So to give each of those a little blowout. These are the plugs I always use.
So whenever I do spark plugs, I always go by the rule of one out, one in. It just reduces the risk of anything falling into your engine. So that's just what I do. So now with all the new spark plugs all in, I'm now going to torque them all down to spec, which I do at 30 Newton meters. And then I'll go back and I'll just double check that they're all torqued down correctly. So with the spark plugs all in and torqued down, it's time to put the coil packs back in and connect the harness back in. And now we just put those two screws in that it was missing, and that is another job done.
Right, so that's all the plugs in, new screws in, so quick clean up, get the cover back on, start it up, and we should be good. Just putting a bit of silicone on the rubbers, just so it slots on. Lovely jubbly. Like that. Right, so job done. Let's give that a little wipe. Like that. Air filter, obviously it's performance, so we won't be changing that. I don't know whether it's got any dust on it. Looks quite new, to be honest with you, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Let's have a look at this. Move these old plugs out of the way. Oh. Let's just check these levels now. Looks pretty good. I will advise a new coolant bottle, because I can't really see what's going on. Let me try and get a light. Sometimes if you put a light behind it, it'll let's have a look. Okay, it's a little bit below. It's a little bit below the max, so let's top that up. It's only a smidge under, but we'll top it up anyway. There we go. That should be all it needs. Have a look at that torch behind there again. There we go. Right, wicked. So we'll write that down as something it will need in the future. Let's just top up the screen wash as well. do is you undo. There's two little lugs here. There's one here. Don't know how well the camera's picking up. But you got like these things either side. There's the other one. You remove that cover there, and there it is. There bit. So you slide that over, and there it is. The old pollen filter. There you can see the difference. A lot cleaner than that one. So let's bang the new one in. Move that one out of the way. That's all the cover all back on. Let's start it up now and make sure she runs all right. All right, with all those bits done, let's start it up and make sure we've got no leaks. Oh, manual, you've got to press the clutch in. A little bit of a hesitant start, but that's because we've done the fuel filter. All right, so now that's running. We'll get it up in the air again and make sure we've got no leaks. Right, so that's one side all done, new discs and pads. See, cops it round there, make sure everything slides on there, lovely. So I'm going to get the wheel on that one and then I'll do the other side.
Unfortunately, my camera had a meltdown and didn't record the whole process, but I put up what it did record.
So you can see, I've held that up there out of the way while I sort the disc out and clean all this area up as well.
I will be doing the front brakes on another car, so I'll film the full process of that one.
Well, that TTS is all gone. Happy days. Matt's happy with everything done to it.
So I've now got the task of tidying up everything.
So if you like videos like this, please leave a comment and let me know, because I quite enjoy doing like a little sort of like vlog sort of thing, just showing a few bits instead of doing like specific videos. I think it's just a bit more natural. But yeah, let us know in the comment what you think. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.